Hello. So you're about to see the video that debunks the mystery around the 5 Tibetan rites. Now I'm gonna explain, together with the book of Peter Kelder of 1939, explain the 5 Tibetan rites. And I have a suggestion that you watch this video without doing anything. Yeah, so like you're watching a Netflix series, just put it on and don't exercise yet. All right, just lay back and let the information sink in without doing anything. It's a great start, right? Doing exercise without exercising. So enjoy, and I hope that this works for you. Leave a comment in the comment section, or contact me in any way if you have a question. Have fun. Video is called like Debunking the Mystery. The 5 Tibetan rites are also called the Fountain of Youth. And I've put a video out and I got a lot of messages about it. So, like all these comments, I'm gonna like debunk the mystery about the 5 Tibetan rites. Why are these exercises so interesting? Because they're called the Fountain of Youth, and according to the legend, these exercises are 2,500 years old. And according to the legend, you can reverse the aging process, like stop your body from aging, or even in some cases, reverse the aging process. Now it worked for me because I've been doing the exercise like every day for like about 13 years or something. And compared to 10 years ago, my body is 10 years younger than 10 years ago. So for me, it's possible. This doesn't mean it's true, of course. But so what is this about? Well, like there is, it's actually really cool because there's a book written by a guy called Peter Kelder, a German guy, in 1939 with an update in 1946. And this is the source of the 5 Tibetan rites. Now, you will find a PDF in the description of this video of the book, so you can read it yourself. It's a quick read. It's absolutely recommendable. So there is a source, so that's really very interesting. So I would like to take the time and show you the exercises in this video. And since we are able to go back to the source, you can, interpret this text in certain ways. And I will show you how I have interpreted this text. So let's go to the book of Peter Kelder, and we're starting with the foreword. So let me share my screen with you. Here we go. All right, so first, it says, the book is called The Eye of the Revelation. And it says that the exercises are 25 centuries old, so 2,500 years old, before Jesus Christ was born, around the time of Buddha. How cool is that? The most important part here is basically that the Eye of the Revelation produced remarkable mental and physical rejuvenation within a month. And then it says after that, however, the greatest results come after the 10th week. So the idea is you do these exercises every day. We're going to work towards that. But really, after the 10th weeks, after 2.5 months, you're really going to notice like a big, big difference. All right, then about the intro. And I will not like read out loud like the whole intro, just the important part. So this guy is living in New York, and he meets this older man. He's over 60, and his name is Colonel Bradford. Now, Colonel Bradford, he heard a rumor. Let me read this for you. While stationed in India some years ago, Colonel Bradford from time to time came in contact with wandering natives from the remote fastnesses of the country. He heard many interesting tales of the life and customs of the country. One story, which interested him strangely, he heard quite a number of times, and always from natives who inhabited a particular district. Those from the other district never seem to have heard it. It concerned a group of lamas or Tibetan priests who apparently had discovered the fountain of youth. The natives told of old men who had mysteriously regained health and strength, vigor, I don't know how to pronounce it, virility, shortly after entering a certain lamasery, so like a monastery. But where this particular place was, no one seemed to exactly know. Well, you know, Mr. Bradford, he went to India. The narrator got like a few letters from him that he had found the fountain of youth. And then 4 years pass, and this is what is happening next. One evening, I decided to stay at home by myself and catch up on my reading, maybe write a few letters. I just settled down to comfortably reading when the telephone rang. Colonel Bradford to see you, sir, said the desk clerk. Send him up, I shouted, and casting the book aside, I hastened to the door. For a moment, I stared. And then with dismay, I saw that this was not Colonel Bradford, but a much younger person. Noting my surprise, the man said, "Weren't you expecting me?" "No," I confessed. "I thought it would be an old friend of mine, a Colonel Bradford." "I came to see you about Colonel Bradford, the man you were expecting," he answered. "Come in," I invited. "Allow me to introduce myself," said the stranger, entering. "My name is Bradford." "Oh, you are Colonel Bradford's son," I exclaimed. "I have often heard him speak of you. You resemble him somewhat." "No, I'm not my son," he returned. "I'm none other than your old friend Colonel Bradford, the old man who went away to the Himalayas." I stood in incredulous amazement at this statement. Then it slowly dawned upon me that this really was Colonel Bradford, whom I had known. But what a change had taken place in his appearance. Instead of the stooped, limping, sallow old gentleman with a cane, he was tall, straight, ruddy, complex man in the prime of his life. Even his hair, which had grown back, held no trace of gray. Cool. You know, like, I don't have gray hair either. I wonder that is because of the 5 Tibetan rites. You know, I'm 51. Well, if I grow a beard, I have gray hair, but not over here. I don't know. Well, then it's about his trip there. You know, you can read it by yourself. It's a really nice story. And then at a certain moment, he says, like, okay, some friends of him are passing by, and Colonel Bradford is saying, "Meet me for lunch tomorrow." All right. Then there is this, you know, I always thought, and I think I say this in the videos I've made about the Tibetan rites, that they balance the chakras. But what is said here is about 7, yes, 7, but not 7 chakras, but 7 psychic vortexes in the body. There are 2 in the head. There's 1 in the throat, 1 on the right side of the body, above the waist, about here or here, you know, if you're watching me the other way around. 1 in your reproductive anatomy, so like your genitals, and 2 in each knee. That's one debunk, you know, it's not about the chakra, it's about certain vortexes in the body. And then let's move to the first rite. All right, rite number 1. Rite number 1 is standing up straight, let me show you this. Standing up straight and turning right ways. I will show you in a bit. And the purpose of rite number 1 is get these vortexes spinning. The idea of these vortexes is that if they spin at a high speed, you will stay young. And aging is because of one or more of these vortexes are not spinning like at a high enough speed, right? So it says here in the text that you should do this until you become dizzy here. At first, the average adult will only be able to spin around half a dozen of times until he becomes dizzy enough to want to sit down. So the idea is to spin as much as you can until you become dizzy. Now, I've been doing these exercises for 10 years and I don't become dizzy anymore. So what I do is I do as many repetitions as I do the other rite. So, you know, you build this up to 21 times, but so if I do 21 times each exercise, I spin 21 times. Now, I've heard in a few times comments of yogis who said like, in my video before, I'm just spinning, I will show you in a bit. Yeah, you don't do it right because you have to move your head like, you know, you turn around but keep looking at the same space. I will show you in a bit. The point of this exercise is that you become dizzy. Yeah, so let me show it to you. So first, let me show you what a lot of people are saying you should do. And I don't per se agree, but if this is your first time, maybe you should start like this. The exercise for today is to just spin 3 times. Now let me show you how to do that. First, by keeping your head pointed at a certain way. Put your hands like this. We're twisting rightwards, so clockwise, okay? So if you look to your right and you spin that way, then this is 3 times. And this is like how you can start. Now, if you do this, what I do is without looking at one point, it's just not my thing. So it would be like this. And then, since the point is to get dizzy, I would say like the advanced version is to spin as fast as you can, like this. All right, so for today, try them all and see where you become dizzy, and then I would say take a step back, because the point is of these exercises that you want to do this every day. Even, you know, if you do 3 times all 5 exercises, it just takes like 2 minutes. If you build it up to 21 times, it takes about 10 minutes. So, you know, if you want to do something every day, you want to grow effortlessly, where you're out of your comfort zone is, take a little step back. So try all 3 of them. If you become like very dizzy, then use the one before that. Yeah, take it easy. If it's really okay, you know, speed it up. Okay, so that was rite number 1. You can do it in 3 ways and do whatever feels comfortable for you. Either keep your side fixed at a certain point, or take it easy, or spin really fast. Let's go to rite number 2. Let me share my screen again. This is what it says. And this is the original text. As I said, one should be full length on his prayer rug or bed. Yoga mat is good enough. Place the hands flat down alongside the hips. Fingers should be kept close together, with fingertips of each hand turning slightly towards one another. Just between you and I, This will keep your lower back on the ground. The feet are then raised until the legs are straight up. If possible, let the feet extend back a bit over the body. This is what I would say the advanced version, towards the head. But do not let the knees bend. Then slowly lower the feet to the floor and for a moment allow all muscles to relax. And then perform this rite all over again. So what if you cannot do that? Yeah, we're doing like different styles. So if you are completely wasted, super obese, you have an injury, you can still do these exercises. I will show you like from beginner, like you have an injury or you have you're seriously obese, you know, and it's impossible to put your legs up straight. We will start with extremely simple and I show you like the normal and the advanced way. Okay. So one of the lamas, this is what the text is saying, one of the lamas told me that when he first attempted this practice, to practice this simple rite, he was so old, weak and decrepit, don't know that word, that he couldn't possibly lift up both legs. Therefore, he started out by lifting the thighs until the knees were straight up, letting the feet hang down. Yeah, so that would be like the most simple version if you're like very old or very obese or maybe have an injury. Little by little, however, he was able to straighten out his legs until at the end of 3 months, he could raise them straight with perfect ease. Wow. Okay, cool. Let me show you. Let me show you. All right, so Tibetan Rite number 2. We start with very old, very obese, you know, and you cannot put your legs straight up. Now, what is not in the text, but what is in most of the videos you will see on the internet, including what I do, is to tilt your head up. But let's go first to what the source is saying, and then we move up to whatever feels right for you. Okay, here we go. Glasses off. First, hands next to your body. I'm very old. I'll put my legs up and down 3 times. Okay, that's like the most simple way. Start out like this. If this is really easy for you, move to the second level. Again, hands slightly tilted in, legs up, straight, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down. Now, like the more advanced way is this. Up, all the way there. Let's see what works. And then what I do is to pull my toes towards me so I get a bit of a stretch in the back. What I do too is to, you know, like what I understood, what is actually not in the source, is that this was the original rite. Chin up, legs up, and down. Chin up, legs up, and down. Chin up, legs up, and down. And the advanced version would be this. Chin up, legs up, and further. 2 and 3. And then a very important note is that a lot of people have like pain in their neck issues. So if you are a person with a sensitive neck and you want to put your head up, put your chin to your chest. Like this, hold it here, and from here, 1, 2, 3. Then lay down, take a deep breath. And in advance could be this, chin to the chest, all the way there, all the way there, and all the way there. I'm getting very warm here. Okay, so see where your out of your comfort zone is. Take a step back. Okay, let's go to rite number 3. Let me share my screen with you again. Rite number 3. Okay. The third rite should be practiced immediately after practicing rite number 2. Well, honestly, I would say do all 5 rites after each other. But when you are starting out, like I would maybe do, the first day, just rite 1, day 2, rite 1 and 2, day 3, 1, 2, and 3, and so forth. Okay, rite 2 is a very simple one. All one needs to do is to kneel on the yoga mat, place the hands on the thighs, lean forward as far as possible, so with the head inclined, so that the chin rests on the chest. Like this. Breathe in and up. Now lean backward as far as possible. At the same time, the head should be lifted and thrown back as far as it will go. I would say you want to be careful, because you don't want to injure yourself. I will get back to that just after this. I will show you rite number 3. And then bring the head along with the body. Lean forward again and start the rite all over. Okay, pretty simple, right? Then it says somewhere in this chapter, I like that. Someday the world will awaken in amazement to what unseen force the forces of good have been doing for the masses. Well, you can read the rest yourself, but this part I like. Most of mankind, and that includes those in the most enlightened countries like America and England, is still in the darkest of the dark ages. However, they're being prepared for better and more glorious things. And as fast as they can be initiated into this higher life, just that fast will the world be made a better place in which to live. So basically what it says, like, if we, a better world starts on the inside, you could say. So if we start doing these exercises, we don't only physically become younger, because that may be like your first thing, your first goal, like, hey, yes, totally, I want to reverse the aging process in my body, totally, we want to have a great looking body, that's okay. But with that, we start to change our mind, change our way, and enlighten the world. Yahoo! All right, let me show you how the third rite is going, and also, what you want to take care of. You want to be careful. The point is that you want to do these exercises effortlessly and don't push yourself too much. Because in this rite, and I will show you where, and I will mention again that you shouldn't do that if you are not well trained, and don't mean well trained in the sense of you have a lot of muscles, but well trained in the sense of yoga and flexibility. Let me show you. Okay, so rite number 3. And please make sure that you don't do this last one, the advanced one, if you're not doing yoga already for 5 years on a regular basis. Okay, just skip that part, please. Okay, it's very simple. In the book it says put your hands on your thighs. Personally, I like to put them here, but let's do the official way first. Hand on the thighs, chin to the chest. Breathe in, look up, breathe out, chin to the chest. Right, 2 more. Now my preparation is to put my hands on my lower back, and when I breathe in and tilt my head backwards, I squeeze my butt. This I know is keeping my lower back safe. Yeah, so like this. Breathe in, look to the ceiling on the breath in, so chin on the chest. Breathe in, squeeze the butt, look to the ceiling. Breathe out, chin on the chest. 2 more. Squeeze, look up, pull your elbows back, open your heart. Breathe out, chin to the chest. Now the advanced version, and I've really seen people who are very trained in a physical way with a lot of muscles get injured here, so please skip this one, is this. Same, build up, breathe in, squeeze the butt and go all the way back. Breathe out, chin to the chest. Relax the butt. 2 more. Last one. Then you sit on your knees and feel what this rite did to your body. Take 1 breath. Thank you. Okay, let's go to rite number 4. And before I share my screen, I just want to say that, within these 5 rites, there will be one that is difficult. This rite, this was about 13 years ago, was hell for me because my whole shoulder, everything there was just so stuck from stress, probably. Now it's my favorite rite, and this is funny that after so much time, that what was very difficult is now my joy. Maybe something, to keep in mind when things seem to be out of line or bad. Anyway, let me share my screen with you again. So rite number 4 is much like the tabletop. Here you can see a little image of it. Let me read to you what is said in the source, in the original text. Sit on the prayer rock. The prayer rock is just your yoga mat, okay? Sit on the yoga mat with the feet stretched out in the front. Then place the hands alongside the body. Now raise the body and bend the knees so that the legs from the knees down are practically straight up and down. It's a lot of words of explaining the tabletop in text, but let's move on. The arms too will be straight up and down, while the body from the shoulders to the knees will be horizontal. Before pushing the body to a horizontal position, the chin should be well down on the chest. And then as the body is raised, the head should be allowed to drop gently backward as far as it will go. I will show you in a bit what to watch. And since I know from my personal experience that, my back was terrible, I will make it again into if you're very, you're very screwed up physically, or you're very obese, the real basic that is not like this, and then move on to the normal version and then to the advanced version. Hello again. Okay, rite number 4. Now, if you're physically really not okay, but you want to start exercising and you're not able to do a tabletop, and this is basically the tabletop. If you're not strong enough or too heavy, start with this. 1, breathe in, squeeze the butt, breathe out, let go. Last time, number 3, breathe in, squeeze, breathe out, let go. Put your legs down, take a deep breath. Okay, let's go to the normal version. Now, the tabletop in yoga is often done like this. What is different is that you put your legs straight and you put your hands exactly next to your body. Not in the front, not in the back. Look, if I put them too much in the back, look, my knees are not 90 degrees. If I put them too much in the front, neither. If you put your hands exactly next to your butt, you go to exactly 90 degrees. If possible, and this is quite hard, leave your heels exactly at the same spot. So you want them hip width, like 2 fists fit in between, 2.5 for women. Put your hands next to your body. This is like intermediate. Let's do it 3 times. Start with the chin on the chest. On your breath in, breathe up. Go up, squeeze your butt, look at the ceiling. Breath out, leave your heels at the same spot. Sit down, and then for a moment remove your hands from the ground just to relax these muscles over here. Let's do 2 more. Breathe in, squeeze your butt for a very short moment. Breathe out, sit down, hands off the ground. 1 more time. Breathe in. Breathe out and sit down, hands on the ground. Now, then there's the advanced version, and again, please, if you have any like shoulder issues, wait with this, okay, until you really feel like the energy is flowing and you're becoming more flexible. This is the advanced. Same setup, except everything is exactly the same. The only difference is, so again, we're sitting down, feet hip width, legs straight, hands exactly next to my butt. I'm gonna breathe in, first chin on the chest, breathe in, squeeze your butt, and let your head fall backwards. And then breathe out, sit in between your hands, remove your hands from the ground. 2 more. Last one. That's it. Then this works for me. I'm not sure if it works for you, but I like to move forward, grab my feet, and relax like this. Okay, this was rite number 4. Rite number 5. All right. Rite number 5 is also called within yoga up and downward dog. I will explain, also later show it to you, first read it to you from the original text, and then show it to you. Again, we have different levels from I'm really just starting out to intermediate to advanced, and I will add my personal, what I like, like I tend to really follow my feeling. And even though the legend says you should do it this way and I change it a bit, I feel I'm allowed to do that. But I will show you like the original way and then what I prefer to do. Okay, let me first share my screen with you again. Here's an image of an up downward dog. And I will read it out to you. It's a bit, it's a bit, like difficult to imagine, but let me just read it out to you. You can read it yourself too. The best way to perform this rite is to place the hands on the floor about 2 feet apart. Then with the legs stretched out to the rear, with the feet also about 2 feet apart. Yeah, this is like hip width. It's probably a bit more than hip width. And then push the body, and especially the hips, up as far as possible, butt to the ceiling, butt to the sky, rising on the toes and hands. So also rising on the toes, and this is something that I've done my preparation is not rising on the toes, but to put my heels down, which is like a normal up and downward dog. Rising on the toes and the hands. At the same time, the head should be brought so far down that the chin comes up against the chest. Pretty confusing, right? I'm going to show you in a little bit. Next, allow the body to come slowly down to a sagging position. Bring the head up, causing it to be drawn as far back as possible. I would like to add, make sure your shoulders low. I will show you in a bit. So this is it. And then it explains here, like when you begin, let me show you in a video because otherwise it becomes a little bit too confusing. And so Tibetan Rite number 5, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Okay, Rite number 5, Tibetan Rite number 5. Up downward dog. Let's start with, you're physically really not okay, super obese, very injured, whatever. Yeah, if you can, well, just try it first. This will be, here you start, keep your shoulders low, like this is not shoulders low, and this is shoulders low. And then breathe in, then go to your knees, toes down, and go up. Knees on the ground, breathe in. I'm going to do 2 more. Up on your knees, butt to the ceiling, chin to the chest, knees down, move forward, shoulders low, breathe in, breathe out, on your toes, butt to the ceiling. Then put your knees down, your toes together, child's pose, this is called. Head on the floor, if you can, and breathe a few times slowly. Now, if you're okay, you can perform this Tibetan Rite number 5 like this. The intermediate way, you could call it. Setup is the same. Shoulders low, breathe in, breathe out, toes on the ground, and just push your butt to the ceiling and your heels high up. Chin to the chest. Then move forward, knees on the ground, shoulders low. Again, push it away, butt to the ceiling, chin to the chest, heels up. Move forward, knees on the ground. Breathe in, shoulders low. Breathe out. High on the toes, chin to the chest, butt to the ceiling. Then again, knees wide, toes together, child's pose. Breathe a few times slowly. Now, let's move to the more advanced way. It's exactly the same, but just that you keep your knees off the ground, right? Let me show you. So, you see my knees are off the ground, my shoulders are low. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, butt to the ceiling, chin to the chest, high on the toes. Now move forward and don't let your knees fall on the ground, but keep them up. Breathe in, shoulders low still. Breathe out, butt to the ceiling, chin to the chest. Last time, move forward. And breathe out, chin to the chest. And then again, breathe 3 times, slowly. And then what I like to do is not put my heels up, but push them down to the ground, because you get an extra stretch in the back of your legs. Let me show you. Just 3 times. Shoulders low, knees off the ground. Breathe in, breathe out, butt to the ceiling, chin to the chest, and now heels to the ground. Again. Last time, shoulders low, and push your butt to the ceiling and your heels to the ground. And then again, child's pose for 3 breaths. So this is Tibetan Rite number 5. So these were the 5 Tibetan rites. Now there is another rite number 6, that there is some controversy about that rite. So you will see that in the bonus video about Tibetan Rite number 6. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment in the comment section if you like, or contact me in any way, and talk to you soon.